Hi, how are you? Today I will speak about this choral number 15 written by Johann Sebastian Bach. Allein zu dir, alone to you, Herr Jesu Christ, Lord Jesus Christ. As probably you know, there is about 300 chorale that the song from Bach collected and published. This chorale has a very interesting history. The melody is not written mostly 90% by Johann Sebastian Bach. It was a Renaissance melody of the period of the Reform of Lutheran, the start of the Lutheran Church. It was a way to make simple melody related to the text of the Bible, of the other text that the people not professional or good musician could sing in the church. So the people sang this melody. It's the same that happened with the psalm published by Van Eyck. There was a melody that was sung every week, every day for all the life of these people, so they know, of course, perfectly. And what is doing Bach? Bach is creating a music at 4 voices, soprano, alto, tenor and bass. And so it didn't wrote the first line, but it wrote the second, the third and the fourth. And this is for us is very interesting because the melody are harmonically very simple normally. But Bach invented so interesting way of writing with so many changing of nuance of color of harmony that for us is really a method, a teaching book for learning harmony. The melody starts with the DA, and this is typical of D major. In effect, we have F sharp, C sharp on the key. We are in D major. When you have a note before the beginning, bim, pa, the question is if you change chord or if you use the same chord. For example, if you have GC in C major, you can make 5th degree dominant and tonic. But here we have the opposite. We don't have A, D, we have D, A. Of course, it could make 1st and 5th. But after the 5th degree, A doesn't go very well upon a B, the 3rd note. So Bach decided to use the same chord for the first 2 notes. The 1st degree, but with the 2nd note in the 2nd position. It's interesting, the 2nd position in a strong rhythmical position. And with unisono from the alto and the soprano. Normally it's better not to make unisono, because when you make unisono, one of the 2 voices disappear. It were 2 voices, and after 1. But the reason is that the jump is so strong that could be like underlining with this unisono. Note that the soprano make D-A and the tenor make A-D. Alone doesn't work, but with the bass and alto work perfectly. I'm sorry. Here we are. Now what happened? We have B, C sharp, D, E, F. It's a scale of B minor, but Bach decided at the moment not to go in this point to D minor, that make the fourth degree G, B, D. So, why? Because the relationship between first degree and fourth is like dominant and tonic. It seems a conclusion. It's not a conclusion because it is on the second beat of the bar. And now, upon this D, Bach put again first degree in the second position. And now, of course, it could make with A natural, but it make a passage in B minor, so it put A sharp, F, A sharp, F is good, but not with D, because it's strong dissonance. It's in B minor is the third degree, but modified. D is for going on this chord, A sharp, C, C sharp, E. This is the seventh chord in the B minor. Yes. If you have F sharp, you have the dominant of B minor. But without F sharp, is a diminished fifth on the seventh degree in B minor. So, A sharp, C, C, E go to the first degree of B minor. And now, attention, the bass and tenor. No more A sharp, but the G sharp. Wonderful. And what is this? This is E, G sharp, B, D, the dominant of A major. We start from the end. The end is the first degree, D major. Before the end, we have the fifth degree, A major. And before the, so, tonic, finish with tonic. Before you have dominant, fifth degree, and before the dominant you have the dominant of the dominant, so E, G sharp, B with the seventh, D. What is interesting, the movement of the up and low part, one go down from half tone and one go up from an half tone, and this is work perfectly. And after, soprano, seventh note, eighth note, C sharp, D, and bass, fifth note, first note. What is interesting is what Bach is trying, and this is the most difficult part, to make the three new voices with a musical sense. Listen the alto. And the tenor. And the bass. first phrase. We finish in D major, we start in D major. Again, an unisono between bass and tenor. Both make D. You see, it's a note with two legs, one for the tenor and one for the bass. First degree, fifth, sixth, and this is the B minor, but we are not in B minor. Seventh again, C sharp, E, G. Third, it's interesting, the relationship between 7 and third is dominant and tonica. And now, the fourth degree with seventh is strong dissonance, G, F sharp. Is the bass that change note too late, but it's a choice for Bach. And we are going in the sopradominante, the relativa minore. The minor tonality relative of D major is B minor. And this is the second degree in B minor. And now the seventh degree, the fifth, this long E is before with a C, after with A sharp, and after with an F sharp. One consonant and two dissonants. Look at the relationship between bass and soprano. This is the most important relationship. Second sentence, my Hoffnung steht auf Erden. Very interesting what happened in the second bar and second line. Bass going down and the soprano going up. It's the best way of writing music, going in opposite direction. And then other interesting things, the soprano stop on this E and the bass make a lot of note, create different relationship between this with this E. Resolution of the dissonance, but not in B minor, in the sixth degree G major of B minor, and then dominant of the dominant of B minor. So second degree, fifth, first. There is many things inside, but it will be long hour to analyze all. What I think is interesting is the stop of the bass between the first and the second bar in the second line. I play again second sentence with four voices. And now each three voices make a movement, but the bass remain, and the bass was consonant F sharp, C sharp, A. And now the bass is totally dissonant with G, B, D, F sharp. Very modern chord. So the last note of the first bar is the third degree in the D major, and then the fourth degree with 7. Do you listen the dissonance? The stronger dissonance. Very interesting because the F is dissonance with the G, but after the G became dissonance with C sharp and especially C sharp, yeah. And the E is consonant and start consonant and then became dissonant with F sharp. So there is this long note start consonant and became dissonant and then go down. This is the rule of the composition. Second part, we finish in B minor. Now the melody, it's a wonderful melody, typical from the circle of 7th or 5th. And normally, but this melody, it's from Renaissance, it's nothing to do with harmony. And Bach follow this pattern, listen the bass and the soprano. Only the end is different, but the beginning is like the Passacaglia from Handel. Telling that Bach is following Handel or the Handel following Bach is something that exists before Bach and Handel. It's interesting, the alto, repeat each time, 2 times each note. And the tenor create a new idea. And the bass make the bass of this chord, the 5th, bim, boom, bim, boom. But after G doesn't make C sharp. It could do it, but Bach doesn't like to make normal things. After G, change the structure. And then the bass, not on the fundamental, but in the second position, and with the leading note on the bass. Why? Because normally the bass had to make F, B, but if the soprano make F, B, the bass cannot make F, B, it will be octave. You will never find it. We listen all together, it's wonderful. And the melody is repeated exactly the same. But changed completely the harmony. D major, still B minor, but starting in the second position, with this strong dissonance. And now we change tonality and we go in E minor. So these last note are a very good idea. I never had this idea to use F sharp B for making dominant and tonic of E minor. So we listen the two solutions. The first in B minor, finishing in B minor, and the second in B minor, finishing in E minor. And after. We continue in E minor, but with a strange chord because it's the dominant with the natural D. Why it's making this E sharp? E sharp is the dominant of the dominant of the dominant of E minor. So E sharp is the dominant in F sharp. F sharp is the dominant of B major, B major is the dominant of E minor. So it's the relationship between dominant and tonic that interests in Bach. This, I don't know what is this. A, C sharp, E sharp. In the second degree of E minor, fifth, and this, I don't know what is this, E, G, F sharp. The F is retard, probably has to make Bach repeated the F sharp in the alto voice. Wonderful. Dominant of E minor. And now we come back on the tonic, on the tonality of the tonic is D major. We start with the second degree. Start in D major, but we are going to B minor because the piece finish with B. At Bach, B is not a note that you can use for finish a piece in D major, because in D major you can finish with D, with F sharp, with A, but not B. So the piece start in D major and finish in B minor, but this music was written in period in which there was no harmony, so there was not involved in this problem. It was a problem for Bach. Look, bass and tenor. We see these legs that go up and down. Why? Last line, second bar. Because the bass doesn't make D, G sharp, A sharp, for many reasons. The first is D, G sharp is not good for singing. Is an augmented fourth. The bass make D, D an octave higher, C sharp, and B. So the melody of the bass and the melody of the tenor, higher D, and this you can make a diminished fifth. You can make this because you probably will listen this music is written for a choir, and in effect the choir will sing Zu dem ich mein Vertrauen an bass, and the tenor Zu dem ich mein this is sometimes the composer make this because they need something, but it was impossible to be written without making error, so they change, they make cross. Normally they never make it between soprano and alto because the soprano is the melody and the people has to recognize the melody. It's used, they make a lot of time for soprano and tenor because and it's more rare tenor and bass. So first degree, second with the third major, and normally has to make this, but it won't go in B minor, so it will be this but with A sharp. And here we are in B minor. This chord is the second degree of B minor, C sharp, E, G. Dominant of F sharp, E sharp, C, E. That is the dominant of B minor. But after this dominant, it doesn't make B minor, it make a sixth degree G, B, D. Second again with dissonance, C sharp, B. Let's go on the fifth. And the end, we are in B minor, but normally the choral finish with the major chord. So instead of that was normal B minor, finish with the major third. There is a lot of things to tell. This is just a start. I can imagine that for someone it's too difficult, for someone it's too easy, primitive. So for me it's very difficult because I don't know which people I am speaking. But I hope that I have start some reason for your curiosity, because this choral from Bach you can find all in Petrucci Imslöp are wonderful lesson of harmony. By the I have recorded this piece with 4 recorder, and I have also do play with me, so the first 3 voices so you can sing or play the melody, the Renaissance choral. Bye bye.